Hi guys, welcome to Holly's Simple Life channel, and today we are talking all things Christmas baking. If you're new here, I would really love it if you would like and subscribe so that way you can see more of my content come up. I love sharing with you guys just the random things that I'm doing throughout the day, fun recipes that I find, time in the kitchen, time with decor around the house and all those things. So make sure you subscribe, get those notifications when you can see anything new come up. Christmas baking, by far one of my favorite things to do all year long. I look forward to it. I save thousands and thousands of recipes that I think that I'm gonna be able to do. And then what happens is, before you know it, it's almost Christmas Eve and maybe I've made 3 different types of recipes. So this year I wanted to tackle it a little bit different. So what I'm doing is I am trying one recipe a day. Now I'm not baking every day, but I am trying to be intentional about baking a few times a week. So one recipe a day, I keep some out for the family to sample throughout the day, and then I'm freezing the rest. So when Christmas Eve comes, I'll take everything out day before, have enough time to thaw, and then I'll have a bunch of a variety of different baked goods that I've tried for everybody to sample and enjoy, and that I have been wanting to try myself. I wanted to share this idea for you because I thought that it could be helpful for those of you that find it a little bit stressful, like I did, to try to get everything in towards that end stretch. So this is also a great idea for those that like to gift baked goods for Christmas. You give them to neighbors, give them to family members. This way you can make maybe a double batch of just one recipe a day, freeze it, and then when you are getting everything out and all lined up, you have all the recipes to put together on the different plates or in the little bins, and making life so much easier. So today I'm going to be making sourdough thumbprint cookies. Now you can also make these cookies without the sourdough discard. I'm just a sourdough lover. I love using my sourdough discard whenever I can, so I will be incorporating that today. But one reason why I really wanted to feature these cookies today is because it's a super simple recipe, very minimal ingredients. I also love that you're able to use jam in here to give that more of a fruity taste, because quite often Christmas goods are very chocolatey or buttery, and just to have that little hint of fruit is always so nice. So that's what we are baking today. So I just thought I'd take you along for the ride so you can see what I've done, and I will begin to share more in the comments of what I'm trying, what I've made so far, and what is on the list. All right, so I have all the ingredients that I need out. This recipe is going to call for, I'm just gonna list it out for you. We've got 1/2 cup unsalted butter, 3/4 cup granulated sugar, 1/4 cup sourdough discard, 1 large egg, 1 teaspoon vanilla, 2 1/4 cup all-purpose flour, 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, and 1/2 teaspoon sea salt. That's going to be your dough. And then of course, any type of jam. I really like the seeded raspberry jam, so that's what we're gonna be using for our filler. And then after the cookies cool, you can dust it with powdered sugar, or you can do a glaze, which I will be doing on mine. So I know that there's a theory to mix your wet ingredients with dry ingredients in a separate bowl. I tend to put my wet ingredients first, and then I just add my dry ingredients, and it seems to turn out fine. So that's what we're gonna do today. So let's get started. So I've got my butter here. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. There's sugar in here. That calls for 3/4 cup there. So while I put in that sugar, I'm gonna start mixing it. And then after that, I am going to go ahead and put in our sourdough discard. Sourdough discard just makes everything so moist and gives such a good texture and taste to everything. That's why I always end up trying to incorporate it into any recipes that I can. All right. I have 1 large egg. I have 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Turn up this a little bit, beat that butter very nicely. while that butter is whipping, we are going to get ready for our dry ingredients. So I've got my baking soda, and I have my flour and salt that will be left. All right, that looks good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly incorporate my flour here. You can pre-measure your ingredients, put them in separate bowls and make it nice and clean, or you can just make a nice little mess like I am. So we have 2 1/4. Okay. Up a bit. Now I'm going to put my salt in here, and then I have 1/2 teaspoon baking soda, right. I'm going to do my final little mixture here, and then my dough is set. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just put my dough in a little ball. I'm gonna wrap it in some cling wrap, or you can even just put the dough in the bowl in the fridge, and you're gonna let that chill for an hour. Once it's chilled, then we can scoop it out on our parchment paper. We'll do our little thumbprint, fill it with the jam, and then we will bake it. So I'm gonna chill this bad boy, and then we will get going from there. Dough has been chilling for over an hour, so I have it just in a bowl here. I have my parchment paper, got my little cookie scooper. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scoop those up and make sure they're in a nice little ball, put those on the tray. Once they're on the tray, I'm gonna use a little teaspoon measure, 1/2 teaspoon measure to make the little thumb imprint. You can use your thumb as well. And then I have my jam of choice. We're doing red raspberry. And these ones this has seeds in it, but we prefer that. And then I like to sprinkle the top of mine with this shimmer sugar, but I will do that right after it gets out of the oven. So I'm going to put them in the little balls, and then we will fill them with the jam. We'll bake them in the oven 375 for about 11 to 13 minutes. Let them cool completely, and then if you're dusting them with the powdered sugar, if you want to do some type of a glaze, you'll do that once the cookies are cool. So here we go. So I have pre-scooped a few of these to get us started. Make sure that they're nice and round. Here's a funny little tip that I like to do for my parchment paper. I use these little black clips to keep it in place. It just works. And I keep a bag in my little drawer here, so that way whenever I need to put parchment paper on a tray or in a glass jar or anything like that, it's all ready to be used. All right, this little ball over here is a little smaller, so I'm gonna add some extra to it. All right, and then we will fill up the next tray. Time to make the thumbprints. Again, I like using a measuring little spoon here because the little circle makes such a nice little precise indent, but you can definitely use your thumbs. If you're making these with kiddos, putting their fingers in food is just fun. So definitely have them do that. So I'm just pressing down on all of these so that way there's a nice little spot for the jam or fruit preserves to go. And then I will fill each one up and then we will get them baking. All right, got my jam here. I'm gonna use that same spoon. If you wanna use a little smaller one, you can. You can use about 1/4 to, this is a half. We like a little more jam in ours, but the 1/4 is a really good size measurement as well. Just fill these up and then we will get them baking. Cookies are all filled up with jam. I did the shimmer sugar. Now you can do it after when they come out of the oven as well. I'm gonna pop these in 11 to 13 minutes, take them out, and then we'll let them cool. And then the final step will be the glaze. Took the cookies out of the oven, so I'm gonna put them on my cooling rack, and then I'm gonna make the glaze that I'm putting on top of it. It's a super simple glaze. It gives a little more hint of your almond extract flavor to it if you like that. So I really love the almond extract that it adds to these cookies. So just put these here. Also, if you are using the sourdough discard, you'll notice that if you make a little bit larger bowl, these cookies just are so nice and round. I love how puffed up they get. They're just adorable. So I'm gonna put those on there. And then I'm gonna walk you guys through how to make that glaze, and we will throw that on there. So I have my powdered sugar here, super simple. I'm just gonna use 1/2 cup of that powdered sugar. You can use a little less if you like. And then I am going to use 3 to 4 tablespoons of water, and that's just depending on the consistency that you want it. So I've got some pre-poured water here. I'm gonna do 4. Okay, and then I'm gonna do, let's see here, I think 2 1/2 teaspoons of the almond extract. Again, you can play around with the amount that you use with that. I'm going to mix that up. And then also, if you find that your icing is a little too watery, you can add a little extra powdered sugar. Mine is looking a little more watery, so I'm gonna add a little more to that. Play around. I'm also going to use the same sheet that I took the cookies off, and I'm going to put my cooling rack right over that, and then I'm going to do the icing over it so that keeps my counters nice and clean. So obviously waiting for your cookies to cool is a good idea here. Sometimes I become very impatient and I just go for it. So I have that all mixed up, and now I am going to go ahead and put the icing on there. I love the extra little flavor that these give. Again, you could just do sifted powdered sugar on here, and that would also be amazing. I think I'm gonna do that on the other tray that I have. Just give a little mix up. And that is all done. These are seriously so easy and so good. There we go. So I'm gonna let those just cool a little bit, let the glaze harden, and then I'm gonna bite into one. But I hope you really enjoyed it. I'm gonna go ahead and put all of the ingredients and walk you through it in the comments. If you try it, please comment below. Let me know. Let me know if you used the glaze, if you used a powdered sugar duster, and also what kind of filling did you use? I'm really interested to see what everybody likes. So thank you for joining along. And again, if anything, I just hope this gives you a little bit of encouragement, knowing that if we plan a little better, we could really enjoy this whole Christmas baking thing. All right, have a great day.